They teach you in the underground schools that the war ended with the treaty. That's a lie. The war ended with the quiet. It was 1947. I was 30 years old, living in the ruins of what used to be Ohio. Now it was just Sector 4. I had a job. I was essential. I was a census taker for the new American Protectorate. You have to understand, after the surrender, the Reich didn't want rebels, but they didn't want corpses either. They needed labor. So they released the agent. We never knew if it was something in the water or a gas dropped from those silent black zeppelins that hovered over the cornfields. But it worked. It took away the anger. It took away the grief. It took away the person. My job was to go door to door and check the integrity of the households. That was the official term. I remember a Tuesday in November. The sky was that permanent, bruised purple color we saw after the factory started burning the new fuel. I walked up to a farmhouse, a white picket fence, freshly painted. The grass was cut to the exact regulation height of 2 inches. I knocked. "Come in," a voice chirped. It was too loud, too bright. I walked in. The family was at the dinner table. The father, the mother, 2 kids. They were sitting over plates of gray meat and boiled potatoes. They were all smiling. Not a casual smile, a wide, teeth-baring grimace that strained the tendons in their necks. "Census," I said, holding up my stamped clipboard. "Identification." The father turned his head. His body didn't move. Just his neck, snapping 45 degrees. Sector 4, Unit 89-4. We are happy. We are productive. We are loyal. "We are loyal," the children echoed. Their eyes were watering, tears streaming down their faces because they hadn't blinked. They couldn't blink. The agent made the muscles rigid. I checked the boxes. Productive. Loyal. "Any sickness?" I asked. This was the trap question. If they said yes, I had to call the disposal trucks. "No sickness," the mother said. Her hand was resting on the hot stove. I could smell the burning flesh. I could see the skin blistering, turning black. But her smile didn't waver. She didn't pull her hand away. Pain was a disorder. Pain was resistance. "Good," I said, my stomach churning. "Heil." "Heil," they sang in unison. I left the house and vomited in the ditch. That was my life, pretending to be one of them. You see, the agent didn't work on me. I don't know why. Maybe a genetic fluke. But I had to act like it did. I had to smile. I had to stare at the wall for hours without moving when my supervisor was watching. But the real horror wasn't the strangers. It was my brother Sam. Sam lived with me. He had succumbed to the agent early on. He was a model citizen. Every morning at 6:00 a.m., he stood by his bed and recited the Pledge of Allegiance to the Führer. Every evening at 8:00 p.m., he sat and listened to the static on the radio, nodding as if he heard instructions. I was alone in a house with a biological machine. One night, about a year after the surrender, I came home late. The lights were off. I walked into the living room, and Sam was standing in the center of the room. It was pitch black, but I could hear him breathing. Short, wet rasps. "Sam?" I whispered. Protocol 4, sleep mode. Usually, that command made him go to bed. The authorities gave us a list of trigger phrases to manage the infected family members. Sam didn't move. Sam was facing the corner, but his head was on backward. He had twisted his own neck around to look at me, the skin purple and torn, the vertebrae clearly snapped. By all medical logic, he should be dead. But his eyes were open, and for the first time in 2 years, he wasn't smiling. His mouth was open in a perfect circle of terror. "Run!" he croaked. It wasn't the mechanical voice of the agent. It was Sam, my brother. He was in there, trapped under layers of chemical obedience, screaming from a broken body. "Sam!" I stepped forward. "They are molting," he wheezed. Then I saw it. The skin on his back was splitting. Something was moving underneath. Something dark and wet. The Nazis hadn't just brainwashed us. The agent wasn't a drug. It was an incubator. Sam collapsed. He started to convulse, black sludge pouring from his mouth, his eyes rolling back. And then he stood up again. But it wasn't Sam. The way he moved, it was fluid, liquid. "Census check," the thing wearing my brother's skin said. Its voice was a low buzz, like a hive of wasps. "Are you loyal?" I ran out the back door, into the purple night. I ran until my lungs burned. I hid in the sewers with the rats and the other failures. That was 40 years ago. I'm an old man now. I live in the neutral zone, past the Rockies, but I still listen to the radio. And sometimes, late at night, between the stations, I hear them. The millions of Americans back east. They aren't talking. They aren't singing. They are buzzing. The history books say we lost the war. They're wrong. We didn't lose. We were harvested.
That was the census of Sector 4. I hope you're feeling comfortable right now, settled in, safe, because that's usually when they start paying attention. If this story crawled under your skin, hit that like button. Subscribe to Bad Dreams only if you want more nights like this one. Drop a comment and tell me what scares you most. I read every single one. Sometimes late at night. Sometimes right before I hear something I can't explain. New nightmares drop every week. I'll be here, waiting in the dark with the next one. Until then, sleep tight, and maybe check your vents